Hi there and welcome to this session on Yooz. Yooz is an award-winning AP automation solution. We're going to take a deep dive into a couple of videos shortly that will run you through the Yooz product and see how you can automate your P2P process and integrate that directly into whatever Sage product you've got. So without much further ado, I'm going to pass over to the team at Yooz and they're going to guide you through the product.
In this video, you'll see how the powerful Yooz Capture Plus works in a quick live demonstration. To start, you simply need to open the email platform you use to send an email to the dedicated email address you've provided in Yooz, attaching the invoice or document you want to process, and click Send. In Yooz, you have the possibility in the email capture section to set up and use as many dedicated emails as you need for your different entities set up within Yooz. Here, you can see the list of the many emails being used in the platform. You can also add specific and personalized rules. For example, when the keyword Oxford is in the email subject, the invoice should be allocated to my Oxford entity. If I go back to my main dashboard, I can see that the email that I've sent in is already being captured and processed. Yooz is now reading and extracting in live the data from my invoice as it's in the using phase for full data extraction. I also have the possibility to reject or block any duplicates within Yooz based on my own rules. Here, I can tell Yooz that all documents with the same supplier and the same document number need to be considered as a duplicate and be flagged instantly by Yooz. I can also add in other criteria like the document date if needed. Now when I go back, instantly I can see that my document is ready to be processed with a quick pop-up, and I can in real time see it appearing in my Tasks section. I see that the invoice is almost fully complete, as this is the very first time ever that the system received a document from this supplier, so I need to make some assignments. This duplicate protection is great because if someone from my team captures the same document by a different capture channel, like with drag and drop, Yooz will immediately alert that user that this is a duplicate and ask them if they want to reject or force the import of that file into Yooz. Now let's see what Yooz did during this using phase, thanks to the power of artificial intelligence and optical character recognition technology, creating a smart data extraction. I can simply click on that document and first assign the correct entity. Again, Yooz will allocate the correct units automatically when we have rich levels of master data synced into Yooz for our units and suppliers. Now we can clearly see how Yooz extracted automatically for us the document date, the document number, the tax and total amounts, the net amount, and more with this easy highlighting feature. This first time in the invoice lines, I will simply have to assign the correct GL accounts, and I will have access to add all of my different accounts coming from my ERP system with this quick drop-down list. Now, I can also add specific tax codes, dimensions like department, cost code, or even some customizable fields that my team can create. Now, once I'm finished and done coding this document for the first time, I'll click on the Submit button, and Yooz will ask me, do you want Yooz to learn this data for the next documents? Now, I have the option to click yes or no, and this deep learning will be applied to my next invoices from this supplier, so I won't have to code the next invoices from the same supplier again, saving my team tons of time. And just as simple as that, you can now see the power of the Yooz Capture Plus. In this video, we'll focus on the search and reporting features in Yooz. Yooz provides you with a Google-like search engine where you can type any keyword, code, or phrase to find any document saved within the platform. If you type the name of your supplier, for example, you can find that correct document in a few seconds, and Yooz saves all the data for 7+ years and longer. On top of that, you can build customizable dynamic folders. You can create as many dynamic folders as you want based on many filters that you can mix and match within Yooz. If you want to create a specific folder for a particular supplier and document type, maybe PO-based or non-PO-based invoices, for example, you can select that criteria easily. You can then run your search and Yooz will find all the matching documents. You can then save it by clicking on the star and even share it with other users or groups in the Yooz platform. What's great is that in the future, Yooz will then continue to add all the new supplier invoices and documents matching that criteria automatically to this folder for you. What you can also do is open another dynamic folder on your dashboard that you've saved and shared in the past by simply clicking on any one of them. You can see some examples here in the Yooz search dashboard, like credit notes from a specific supplier or any open purchase orders. And then by clicking that box at the top left to select all documents in the list, you can then download all the documents, creating a detailed Excel spreadsheet. This is also great for any reporting outside of Yooz. Then in real time, you can see a pop-up that's going to alert you that your search has been downloaded and is ready for you to click to retrieve it instantly. It takes just a few seconds for Yooz to extract this data and provide you with all the information related to these documents, as you can see clicking here. Just like that, the Excel spreadsheet has been downloaded in seconds, and you can go even further and create reports with different types of customizable charts, tables, and graphs directly from Yooz. By going back and clicking on this little arrow or the reports button, you can then choose the name of this report and then can choose from 5 powerful templates depending on the data you're reporting on, like document header information from suppliers and units, documents that have been exported from Yooz. You can build reports on purchase or payment line information and timeline data to see the time that's been spent throughout the process, broken down by phase, user, and much more. Once you simply click to download the report, Yooz will ask you to log in. And as you can see, this is protected by single sign-on or your login email and password to access this data for extra security. Once opened, you can see the reports already popping up for you and your team to play with, all the different data elements and options to create what you'd need. In this example, you have different tabs, including things like the amounts evolution per organization, the number of invoices per vendor, the source of the capture, and much more. You just need to click on the refresh button to refresh the report with new data captured in Yooz afterwards. And just like that, in real time, you can build reports on 5 different models and can even go further and create budget reports in your Yooz platform. But first, let's see how to make a purchase request within Yooz, as this is an all-in-one solution allowing you to automate your processes from A to Z. I'll raise my PO for my London office. As you can see here, I have several entities in Yooz. Then I'll simply select the correct billing address and delivery address before I choose my products. I can add as many as I need. I'll just need to update the ordered quantity, and Yooz will calculate the total amount of my purchase request for me automatically. I'll apply the same delivery date to all the lines in one click. Yooz will then automatically populate all the required information for me, such as the unit price, my chart of accounts, my departments, and also if those items are considered as fixed assets. Once done, I can submit my purchase request for approval, and I have an option to select an approval from a list within my organization. I'll have the ability to leave a quick comment if necessary. As I just sent it to myself, I can see now that I have a new document that appeared in my Tasks dashboard, ready to be approved. I'll open this document and review it just to make sure everything looks correct to me. I can also see the comment that my colleague left, and I can reply by tagging her back directly. Now, just before I approve this document, I can actually go ahead and click on the preview button to visualize the purchase order that will be sent out automatically to my supplier as soon as I approve it. Now, once it's been previewed, I'll simply go back and click on Approve. My supplier is going to receive the order by email directly from Yooz and will issue the invoice. This invoice will be captured automatically by Yooz right here in the Capture section. However, for the purpose of this demo, I'll import it manually by either just dragging and dropping it or selecting the file directly here. I can even add additional information if needed, even a highlight color. Now you'll see the document is in the using process, which will take place in just a matter of a few seconds. Right now, the document is being fully read and understood by our OCR and AI technology or smart data extraction exclusive to Yooz, and then automatically matched against the PO. Very straightforward. Now the invoice is already available in my tasks, and Yooz did the job for me. No human intervention was needed. By extracting the total amount, the date, identifying the supplier, and matching the invoice with the right PO. Yooz will then export instantly the invoice lines to Sage Intacct thanks to our powerful API connection, allowing a seamless and real-time integration, really the best on the market. All right, now let's transition to Sage Intacct. The transaction will appear right here in Sage Intacct, and I can click on the View button to see all the details. I can see the supplier, the date, the total of the transaction, all the useful information I'll need in Sage Intacct. If I scroll down here, I can see the invoice lines with my products and the ledger. On top of that, I can also see the PDF of the invoice directly in Sage Intacct when I click on the paperclip or attachment button. And there it is. I can scroll down to see the full document to verify if needed. I can also, when I click out, see the posting details when I click right up here. Again, I can easily scroll down to see all of the information from those posting details if needed. I can click to see the history of my invoice, and I can see all of the details if this document has been modified. And finally, I can check the payment details by clicking on this last tab here. I can then generate the payment directly from Intacct and download the bank payment file. Once generated, my supplier and I will receive a confirmation by email to indicate that the payment has been issued for this transaction. This email will include all of the relevant details with the electronic payment transfer attached. And this is going to be attached right here at the bottom in a PDF format. You can see right here. In this video, we will focus on the Yooz dynamic approval workflow feature, which is one of the most powerful functionalities. When I log into Yooz, I can see that I have a document in the In Progress section that's waiting to be approved by my head approver. Let's take a closer look at how we can create workflows in Yooz. It's really simple. We can start in our main settings and then in the processes and workflows. Here we can see that we can create specific rules based on each type of document process within Yooz. Today, let's take the payable invoice or credit workflow example. In Yooz, you'll have different phases, like a review phase, an approval phase, and more. And if you want to, you can add multiple steps very easily, and you can create as many routes as you and your team want within each step. Here you can see some example routes relating to suppliers, departments, teams, threshold amounts, and more. Let's create a customized workflow route together as an example by clicking on that plus button. I'll add in a quick title that reflects the rules I want to put in place. Invoices with the amount above £10,000, the specific supplier involved, and the cost code that I want to track. Then I'll add these conditions just below by typing in a few key letters or keywords that Yooz will then filter the results for me. I can quickly mix and match to combine multiple different criteria by first selecting the total amount greater than or equal to £10,000. Then I can quickly look up and find my computer supplier, again with just a few key letters in that supplier name. And finally, the cost code that's desired for general expenses by looking up the criteria cost code. I can then select a specific user that will be in charge of approving these documents, or I can even select a group of approvers that have several different users within that customized group. At the bottom, I can select a default user if needed. Once created, this route can be cloned, and I can even move it around to other steps. All I need to do is modify the total amount of the invoices to greater than or equal to £20,000, for example, and also modify the approver and even the default user if necessary. It's fast and easy to set up, and what Yooz will do with my captured invoices is automatically check if the data matches any of the created routes in my workflows and send it automatically to that correct person or group. After this is done, Yooz will generate the accounting export to my ERP system automatically. I can see that with this bubble here. Now let's log in as the head approver to see how we can approve a document within Yooz. Each approver will be notified in real time that they have new documents to process. And because Yooz is cloud-based, they can access anywhere, anytime, even with the Yooz mobile app. In their My Tasks dashboard, this approver will see the invoices that they need to approve. They can simply just click on that document and see all of the details popping up for them. They will then have a lot of different options. They can click to block a document and communicate a customized reason for blocking this document. They can also send an email out to the supplier directly from Yooz. They can also unblock the invoice if needed and leave a comment. They can click on the comments button and leave that comment by even tagging in another user. There's then going to be a date and a timestamp for that comment in Yooz once it's been sent out. They can also send it back to another user if necessary. And if everything is finished and okay for this invoice, they can click on Approve to finalize that workflow task. These workflows are helping by saving the team tons of time no matter where they are and when they're working.